Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to introduce the microeconomics concept, demand. Let's start with the formal definition of the term. Demand refers to the quantity of a good or service that consumers are both willing and able to buy at given prices over a given period of time. So demand isn't just about wanting something, it includes the ability to buy. This is called effective demand. A-level economics also expects you to distinguish between a demand schedule and a demand curve. A demand schedule is a table that shows different quantities of demand at different prices. A demand curve is a downward sloping line that demonstrates the relationship between price of the good and quantity demanded of the good. It is important to separate demand from quantity demanded or quantity of demand. Quantity demanded refers to a single point along the demand curve, the exact amount consumers would purchase at particular prices. For example, if the price is £10, consumers may demand 2 units. This is a single quantity of demand or quantity demanded, not the entire demand curve, which actually consists of numerous points and numerous price and corresponding quantity of demand combinations. This distinction matters later when we talk about movements versus shifts. Next, the law of demand. When price falls, quantity demanded rises and vice versa. Price and quantity demanded are therefore inversely or negatively related. Why does this happen? There are 3 key reasons. First, income effect. When price falls, real purchasing power increases. Consumers can afford more, so quantity demanded rises. Second, substitution effect. When the price of a good falls, it becomes cheaper relative to its substitutes, so consumers switch favorably towards it. Third, diminishing marginal utility. The word utility refers to the level of satisfaction or happiness that consumers derive from consuming a good. As buyers consume more, purchase more of the same good, the extra units gives less and less additional satisfaction to them. So consumers are willing to pay less for the later units. Or they will only buy more if the price falls. Now, let's look at the movement along the demand curve, which can only be caused by a change in the price of the good itself. A fall in the price will result in a larger quantity of demand, and we describe this as an extension of demand. A rise in price will result in a smaller quantity demanded, and we describe this as a contraction of demand. It is quite important to know the words extension and contraction and use it in your essay to describe the diagram. Well, when the whole curve moves, we call it shifts. A rightward shift represents an increase in demand because at every price, the quantity demanded now is greater than the quantity demanded previously. In contrast, a reduction in demand can be represented by a leftward shift in the demand curve in this diagram from D to D prime, because at every price level, the new quantity demanded is smaller than the old quantity demanded. Shifts happen because of changes in non-price determinants, and this is the most examined part under demand. A-level expects you to know the main factors that shift demand. Let's go through them one by one. Firstly, changes in income. When people's income rises, demand for normal goods increases and shifts to the right. Demand for inferior good decreases and shifts to the left as people look for superior alternatives. Second, changes in price of substitutes. If the price of substitutes rises, say when the price of Coca-Cola rises, people are going to reduce quantity of demand of Coca-Cola itself. But since they still have the desire to drink Coke, they are going to demand more Pepsi. Pepsi demand is going to shift to the right. Third, changes in price of complements. If the price of a complementary good rises, like for example, when the price of printer rises, the quantity demanded of printers themselves is going to decrease, and people would also buy fewer ink cartridge. Besides, changes in taste and preferences matter. Trends, healthcare campaigns, or social media can shift demand sharply. Also, changes in population size and structure can shift the demand. A larger population is going to increase the demand for almost all goods. An aging population would increase the demand for healthcare or mobility services. Besides, changes in expectation about future price and income is also a demand shifter. If people expect higher prices in future, they will buy more now, increasing today's demand. If people feel like they are going to become wealthier and receive higher salary in the future, they're also going to increase today's demand. Furthermore, advertising and branding can increase consumer awareness and preference, shifting demand for the good rightwards. Last but not least, seasonal factors. For example, the demand for ice cream is going to rise in summer, and the demand for coats are going to rise in winter. A-level economics also requires us to understand the difference between individual and market demand. Individual demand refers to quantity demanded by one consumer. Here I have drawn two individual demand of consumer A and consumer B. Market demand is the horizontal summation of all the individual demand, as I have drawn here as DM. For example, at the price of £5 each, A is going to demand 2 units, while B is going to demand 3 units. In a market that consists of just A and B as consumers, the market quantity demanded of the good at the price of £5 each is going to be 2 plus 3, 5 units. Similarly, at the price of £3 each, A is going to demand 4 units, while B is going to demand 6 units. So the total market quantity of demand would be 4 plus 6, 10 units. Graphically, market demand lies more towards the right of individual demand curves because it includes more consumers. Understanding demand sets the foundation for equilibrium analysis, elasticity of demand concepts, and so on. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about supply. See you there.